Friday night was the best night of the week. Not just because school was finally over, or because of the promise of pizza, but for a reason that felt like a secret only I knew. It was all about a horse, a magical talking horse who lived inside my television set. This horse was Wildfire, the dazzling star of my absolute favorite TV show, the one I waited for all week. Wildfire was a beautiful white horse who could talk, run faster than the wind, and always seemed to know exactly what to do. He helped Princess Sarah in the magical land of Darshan, a place that felt as real to me as my own backyard. I loved watching them outsmart the evil witch, Lady Diabolin, whose cackling laugh still echoes in my memory. Every Friday, I'd rush through my homework, making sure every answer was perfect, then help Mom with dinner, chopping vegetables or setting the table, anything to make the evening come faster. As soon as the dishes were done, I'd claim my spot in front of the TV, determined not to miss a single second. My favorite pillow, the softest blanket in the house, and a plate of cookies, usually chocolate chip, were all lined up, ready for the adventure ahead. The theme song would start, and every time it made my heart race. It was like a signal that anything was possible, that I could go on an adventure too, if only I believed hard enough. I'd imagine what would happen next. Maybe they'd discover a hidden treasure, or maybe Sarah would need to solve a riddle to save her kingdom. Sometimes I'd act out the scenes, pretending to rescue the king from Lady Diabolin's clutches, waving a makeshift sword or donning a paper crown. Watching Wildfire made me feel brave and smart, like I could face anything, even the things that scared me in real life. It was my special time, a secret world just for me, where I could dream as big as I wanted and no one could interrupt. My family didn't really get it. They just saw a cartoon, something for kids. They'd pass by, glancing at the screen, never understanding the magic I saw. But for me, it was everything. It was hope, excitement, and the promise that heroes could win. The clock ticked slowly, each minute stretching out as I waited for the show to begin, my anticipation growing with every second. I wiggled my toes in excitement, sure nothing could ruin this perfect Friday night. I felt safe, happy, and completely at home. Or so I thought. The doorbell rang, slicing through the magic, and that was the sound that changed everything.
The doorbell rang and suddenly my whole family poured in. Aunt Sally, Uncle Frank, Grandma Lucy, Grandpa Mike, and my cousins Ed and Emma. Their voices filled the house, a storm cloud over my Wildfire plans.
Guess what, everyone? We're all going to the movies.
We're seeing Who Framed Roger Rabbit at the new AMC Theatre.
Everyone cheered, but my heart sank. The movies? Tonight? What about Wildfire? I hugged my pillow, wishing I could disappear.
Isn't this exciting, Emily? Your very first time at a real movie theater?
I tried to smile, but the idea of a big, dark theater full of strangers didn't sound cozy at all. The happy chatter buzzed around me, but all I could think about was missing my magical world. I felt invisible, lost in the noise. We piled into Uncle Frank's giant station wagon, Ed and Emma grabbing the back seat. I was squished between Grandma Lucy and Grandpa Mike, feeling grumpy. Everyone talked about the movie, rabbits driving cars, ladies in sparkly dresses. I stared out the window, imagining my lonely TV at home. Wildfire's theme song was probably playing right now. I wiped away a tear, not wanting anyone to see.
What's on your mind, little Sprout?
Nothing.
You're going to love the movies. It's like TV, but 100 times bigger.
That didn't help. I crossed my arms and sank down, deciding I wouldn't like this movie. I'd sit with my eyes closed and dream about Wildfire. The car was full of sunshine, but I felt like a little gray rain cloud. I missed my secret world. The AMC theater was enormous. Blinking neon lights, posters everywhere, and a lobby that smelled like popcorn. It looked like a spaceship had landed in town. Inside, the swirly carpet and crowds were overwhelming. My cousins darted around, pointing at arcade games and candy. I just wanted a quiet corner, but there were none. I held Grandma Lucy's hand tightly.
See, what did I tell you? Big, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't cozy, but it was exciting in a scary way. A tiny part of me was curious about what would happen next. Uncle Frank got tickets and we headed to the candy counter, a wonderland of treats. Boxes of Twizzlers, Lemonheads, Junior Mints, and even giant pickles lined the glass.
The popcorn machine was working overtime.
I'll take the biggest bucket of popcorn you've got.
Everyone picked their favorites: Raisinets, soda, Skittles, M&Ms.
When it was my turn, I pointed to Snowcaps because I liked the snowman on the box. My dad handed me a small soda, and I juggled my treats through the crowd.
We followed the signs to our theater.
Down a long, dark hallway, the noise faded, replaced by the rumble of a movie already playing. My heart beat faster. We were almost there. Uncle Frank led the way, popcorn bucket in hand. I clutched my soda and candy, trying to keep up. The adventure was about to begin, even if it wasn't the one I'd planned. My shoes made soft sounds on the carpet. I wondered if I could enjoy this new kind of magic. We shuffled down the narrow aisle, our shoes sticking to the old carpet, and found our seats in the dark theater, the only light coming from the giant screen up front. The air was thick with the smell of popcorn, and a hint of excitement, as if everyone in the room was waiting for something magical to happen. I nestled between my parents, feeling safe and small in the big, bouncy chair. Their arms rested on either side of me, and I could hear the soft rustle of candy wrappers and the low hum of people whispering all around us. The lights dimmed slowly and the commercials faded away. Suddenly the room was filled with a blast of music, and the screen glowed even brighter. My heart skipped a beat as the movie began.
It started with a cartoon. Roger Rabbit in a wild kitchen chase, pots and pans flying everywhere, colors swirling across the screen. It was loud and silly and completely unlike anything I'd seen before. The whole audience burst out laughing, and I giggled too, feeling the laughter ripple through the rows like a wave. It was as if we were all in on the same secret joke. Then, something incredible happened. A real man walked right into the cartoon world. The lines between real and pretend blurred, and suddenly anything seemed possible. My eyes widened in amazement. I'd never seen anything like it before. It was like magic unfolding right in front of me, and I couldn't look away. All the grumpiness I'd felt earlier melted away. I forgot about Wildfire, about everything outside the theater. For those moments, nothing else mattered. I was swept into Toontown, following Eddie Valiant and Roger Rabbit on their wild, unpredictable adventure. The whole audience seemed to lean forward together, caught up in the story. There was a talking taxi, the glamorous Jessica Rabbit, and a gang of silly weasels. Everything was bigger, brighter, and more exciting than anything I'd ever seen on TV at home. I munched on my Snowcaps and sipped my soda, barely noticing the taste because I was so completely captivated by what was happening on the screen. This was a new kind of adventure, one that felt like it belonged to everyone in the theater, not just me. I could feel the excitement buzzing in the air. The screen was enormous, stretching from wall to wall, and the sound thundered all around us. I felt like I was right in the middle of the action, part of the story itself. I leaned forward in my seat, eyes glued to the swirling colors and wild chases, not wanting to miss a single second. For the first time, I didn't miss my living room floor or the comfort of home. The theater felt like the most magical place in the world. The movie swept me away, carrying me far from my worries and into a world where anything could happen. For those few hours, I was part of the magic, and I never wanted it to end. I was so wrapped up in the movie, I didn't notice how much soda I'd drunk. Suddenly, I felt the I have to go potty wiggle. I tried to ignore it. Judge Doom was about to do something terrible. I squeezed my legs, hoping the feeling would go away. But it only got worse. I didn't want to interrupt my mom, so I held it as long as I could. Then it happened. A warm trickle, then a flood. I froze, horrified. I'd wet my pants in the theater. My face burned with shame, even though it was dark. Would everyone notice? Would they stop the movie? I couldn't watch anymore. All I felt was the dampness and the sinking feeling that I'd ruined everything. The movie kept playing, but I was lost in panic. I wanted to disappear. I was sure this was the worst night ever. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't believe it. We were going back in. The bright lights of the lobby felt different this time. Softer somehow, as if the whole world had shifted just a little to make room for me in my embarrassment. My heart was still pounding, but now it was mixed with relief. I hadn't ruined everything after all. My family's faces were full of understanding, not disappointment. I realized they cared more about me than about missing a few minutes of the movie. My family just wanted to make sure I was okay. I felt safe again. Their arms around me were like a shield, protecting me from the embarrassment I'd been sure would swallow me whole. "Ready to go see how it ends?" he asked, his voice gentle and full of encouragement, as if nothing unusual had happened at all. He led me out, my mom right behind, her hand resting reassuringly on my shoulder. I could feel their support with every step. Grandma Lucy gave me a warm smile as we left, her eyes twinkling with kindness. She didn't need to say anything. Her smile told me everything was going to be all right. In the bright, empty restroom, my mom helped me dry off. The sound of the hand dryer filled the silence, but her gentle words made me feel less alone. "It's just a seat, Emily. You're more important than any seat," she said, kneeling down to look me in the eye. Her hands were warm and steady, grounding me. My dad waited outside, and when I came out, he gave me a big hug. He didn't say much, but his arms around me said everything I needed to hear. My dad stood up. "Come on, sweetie. Let's get you cleaned up." There was no judgment in his voice, just love and concern. She whispered, "It's okay, it happens," and gave me a squeeze. Her hug was like a promise that this moment wouldn't define me. She told my dad, who just smiled reassuringly. They exchanged a look that said, "We've got her," and I felt their silent teamwork. No one was mad, no one made a scene. Instead, they made me feel like I belonged no matter what. I sat frozen, too scared to move until I finally whispered to my mom, I had an accident." My voice was barely a breath, but she heard me. I braced for anger, but she just leaned closer, her face gentle in the flickering light. In that moment, I knew I was loved, no matter what mistakes I made.
We slipped back into our seats just in time for the movie's happy ending.
My mom had put her sweater on the seat so I'd be comfortable. I watched the last scenes, feeling a warm glow inside.
When the lights came up, my family talked about their favorite parts. No one mentioned my accident. As we left, my dad's hand on my shoulder reminded me I was loved.
On the car ride home, I leaned against Grandma Lucy, tired but happy. I realized the movie theater was magical, not just because of the screen, but because I was with my family. Even with my embarrassing accident, it was a wonderful night. I'd never forget my first trip to the movies. I'd remember the silly rabbit, the taste of snow caps, and the kindness of my family. They weren't angry or disappointed, they were just kind. I missed Wildfire, but I found a different kind of magic that night. The kind that happens when you're all together.